we never know what
the reparation part. Like, am I tripping to exclude people
you're not.
who are first generation American from reparations?
No, fuck that. No, because we need that reparations. Like,
somebody didn't put the camera.
Why is China so heavily interested in these Caribbean and African countries? So, like, I would probably accept Obama saying it before Drake. I would press Drake before I press Obama. That's like, off of visualize. Welcome to MPS, Major Political Shift, the podcast that integrates pop culture with political awareness. I'm your host, Jerz Saunders, and I have a special guest. You know, it's really my co-host, but, you know, give it up for yours truly.
Name G. George, West Philly, Revelle.
You know what I'm saying? You know, last episode, we talked a lot about education. We talked about the Sahel Alliance and, you know, the things that's going on over in Africa, West Africa to be specific. You know, today's episode, we're going to talk a lot about relationships. You know, we're going to talk about our foreign affairs, you know, our allies, and, you know, some of our competing interests. We're going to talk about domestic relationships as well, like the African diaspora and dating and things like that and all that. So, you know.
Should be interesting.
Yeah. You know, thank you for tuning in. Without further ado, George, tell me about your weekend, man. What happened? How was the Super Bowl? You know, any recaps?
For the weekend? Well, Super Bowl, first off, definitely watched it. You know, well, at least part of it, the part that I needed. I bet a little bit I lost, but I'm not going to say we missed on my ticket. But, you know, go Birds, you already know. I mean, I kind of knew they was going to win just off the strength, you know. The NFL a little bit rigged. But, you know, I'm not going too deep into, you know how these conspiracy theories are. So I'm not going to jog your mind like that. But other than that, the weekend was smooth, you know. Chill with my girl. Got my place ready. Just, you know, getting life together.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. So, I definitely enjoyed watching the Super Bowl last week. I feel like Kendrick did a great performance. You feel me? Yeah. Like, you know how Cedric, Samuel Jackson came through. Like, welcome to the American Games.
It's a lot of symbolism about all of that.
You feel what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Like,
Samuel being Uncle Sam, that was gold.
Yeah,
that was absolute gold.
Yeah, that's literally niggas' uncles and shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? And on top of that, you feel me? Like, you know, but like, you know, just piggybacking off what George said about the symbolism. I think that shit was dope. Like, you feel me? Like, when, like in the first three songs, Squabble Up and shit like that. Yeah. Samuel was like, "Oh, you know how to play the game? You know how to tighten up, Kendrick Lamar." And he goes into "Be humble, sit down." You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, "Oh yeah, So I'm like, yeah, this is fly." Like it made it more cinematic. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that was fly. You know, shout out to Kendrick. You feel me? Also, like over the past week, obviously, you know, Trump been in the headlines doing a lot of publicity stunts, you feel me, in my opinion. You know, a lot of the stuff, like signing executive orders, taking questions and things like that, is definitely to distract a lot of us. But it is, you know, a way for us to criticize and analyze his approaches too. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, he doing a lot of executive orders. A lot of people would say, like, yo, you know, 14 days in a game, he doing something. You know, Joe Biden ain't do shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and you know, I would say the same thing. Like, orders for like stopping trans and identifying to genders and shit like that. You feel me? Some of this common sense shit that he's doing. Then he got shit like, you know, exposing JFK assassination files and MLK. Like, what is the benefit of that? You feel what I'm saying?
It's honestly just a distraction. Honestly, you know, he's doing things like he said he would, you know, but at the same time, he's, in my opinion, and don't, you know, I know how some people in politics may think, he's kind of a puppet. You can tell by the way his, you know, the cabinet set up for him, his own president cabinet. Like, it's the way that he has Elon Musk involved is also like, it shows that it's about money. It doesn't really show that you care about the people. Maybe you do care about the people, but you're people.
Yeah, you know? and we talked about that last episode briefly about Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. You know that he has Elon Musk spearheading a department straight out of the executive cabinet that basically is allowing Elon Musk to have access to all these private information about funding and, you know, treasury type information. But Elon Musk is not an elected official. So like,
He's not even American.
You're not even American. So it's like, that's just muddy water. So we're gonna talk about that. So just sit back, grab your popcorn, and thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so like, before we dive deep into our next topic about relationships, we're gonna bring in our guest. Keem. This is a brother that was on episode 1. You feel me? Comments a little relentless, but you feel me? We gonna just bring him in. We gonna talk more about relationships and shit like that, and give it up for my brother.
Yes, sir.
Come in, broski. What's the deal?
What's up with y'all?
It's good.
Yeah, man. So you feel me? Y'all got the plan. We're gonna talk about relationships, international and domestic. You feel what I'm saying? So but first, let's talk about Trump's executive orders and his Doge plans. You dig what I'm saying? So if y'all just watch some of the Forbes breaking news, you will catch Trump doing some of his executive orders. A lot of those executive orders are ultimatums for Gaza to release hostages. According to the president, Gaza had today at 12 p.m. to release all of the hostages, or quote, all hell was going to break loose. So I don't know exactly what that means. You feel what I'm saying? We may be entering a new war, but he also suggested that people who are inhabiting Gaza leave Gaza and go to the neighboring countries like Egypt and Iran. He said that he's gonna, obtain Gaza and develop it and shit like that. So it's very dicey because that's like humanitarian, but it's also like type capitalism and colonialism as well. Like, how can you just claim land? You dig what I'm saying? So I will ask y'all your topics on that, but did y'all hear any other news, shit like that? Any opinions y'all have on that?
No, actually, I didn't even brief on that, to be honest. This is news to me. You're inciting war. But also you don't know where the war is going to go. Is it going to be on U.S. soil, U.S. casualties? Why would you incite war? At least that's what I think the cause and effect. Cause, you say something, effect, well, they're going to have to respond. It's either you go with the program or you make your own new program, and you're going to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, man, not Gaza, but Trump definitely on some big bully shit. You feel me? Like,
definitely, yeah.
Obviously, a lot of the world have known that the Gaza and Israel, Palestine and Israel conflict. You know what I'm saying? So, we've been calling for a ceasefire. It's been a little ceasefire, but, it's still back and forth turmoil. So I don't know if this helps or this increases that turmoil. Obviously, Trump has a side. I'm not sure which side is right, but there are human lives at risk. You feel what I'm saying? So, what about you, Keem? You have any thoughts on that or any opinion on that?
My opinion is, like, when Trump said, like, all hell gonna break loose, why would you say that? Like, you could have said anything else, bro. You saying that, like, you ready to go to war, like, bro, we don't need no war in this time. It's too many things that are going on. We just need peace. But you actually trying to claim that land is not going for it. Like, that's still a country of Africa. It's not part of the United States. We shouldn't go over another country and start claiming stuff because they're gonna incite war. We don't have the man. We probably do have the manpower, but we not. Our economy, how it is right now, we not going to war.
America got the biggest military. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you see how much money we gave to Ukraine, how many missiles we gave to Israel. You feel what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons why our money is backed up, are so powerful, is because of our military influences. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
not backed by gold.
It's not backed by gold, no natural resources. It's just backed by, is you really gonna collect this shit? You feel what I'm saying? And for the most part, countries and nations aren't going to really collected. But a lot of the time, for a long time, America had a foot on a lot of nations' necks. Especially with the energy sector, a lot of the gold and oil is traded through American dollars. So you feel me? If Russia want to sell oil to Great Britain, they gonna pay for it in American dollars. If any country in Africa want to trade with New Zealand and vice versa, they're gonna trade in American dollars when it comes to the energy. So we had our foot on their neck for a long time, but Russia coincidentally has the largest deposit of these natural resources outside of the Middle East. So they're trying to create factions and organizations where they can undermine the American dollar. Organizations like BRICS. It's an organization that houses South Africa, Brazil, China, Russia, and a few other countries. But their main goal is to have an alliance so that America doesn't have their dominance over the world powers anymore, the global economy, for lack of a better terms. With that global economy and this money talk, Trump has been putting sanctions, if you say not sanctions, but tariffs, as taxes on our trades. So like a lot of trades with China is being taxed 25% more. So anything that you see made in China will effectively you will hit that cost. You will have to pay for that. You feel what I'm saying? And specifically, he's doing a tax or tariff on aluminum and steel production. So a lot of our aluminum and steel comes from other nations, New Zealand being one of them, also China being one of them as well. Trump is saying if any steel is being imported into the States, it's going to have like a 25 or 50% tariff on that. And he wants people to produce more steel and aluminum inside of the States. It's kind of a contradiction because like I'm from Trenton, New Jersey. My town was a hub for steel making. If you ever go to Trenton, New Jersey, it says Trenton makes the world tapes. We're talking about steel. You feel what I'm saying? We were the hub for a long time, and a lot of those factories have been condemned because people don't really know how to make steel. You don't really know how people. You don't really know many people who are in the aluminum trade in America. You feel what I'm saying?
It's outsourced.
Yeah, it's outsourced because it's cheaper, and it's a very dangerous job. Like creating steel and hammering, welding steel together and things like
examples, Pittsburgh, the Steelers.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, American was a big steel production. You feel what I'm saying?
They had plenty of factories in Pittsburgh. Now it kind of looks. I mean, no offense to Pittsburgh, but y'all kind of look dull. Like your whole town's in black and white. But I can tell that y'all was prosperous back in the day when you actually had that money flowing through the city. Going through the roadways, everything like that. But you can see the effects of outsourcing, cheap labor, and which is like, bring it back to the city sounds right. You bring in more jobs, helps the economy, but at the same time, there's an offset to that. To actually make this still, you're gonna have to be able to pay these people a certain wage. Taxes might go up.
You want to ensure certain safety procedures. You know what I'm saying?
It creates jobs, but also creates some sort of issues, which we didn't have the issues back then when we were actually in housing. But now that the economy's a little bit different now, you got to find the room for it. You can't just force the American people just to do it.
Word, and I want to ask y'all a question because he also talking about energy, fracking and utilizing our gold, not our gold, but our oil deposits and shit like that. What is y'all thoughts on the tariffs and shit like that, bringing jobs back into steel? And also, what's your perspective on energy? Is any of these things obsolete? You feel what I'm saying? Steel, aluminum in America, and it's 2025. Do we really need oil to heat our crib and shit like that? Tell me, Keem. What's your position on that?
Well, with the steel production, I really think it will bring back more jobs and stuff like that because economy do need more job opportunities, stuff like that. But at the same time, it's we do outsource aluminum, so it's do we really we still use aluminum, but is it as much as we used back then when stuff was building? We had to build buildings from the ground up and stuff like that. And our energy resources, with oil, I think we might just tear away from oil because it's our newfound energy. We still got solar energy, we got solar energy, we got wind energy, we got other electric. We got so many other energies we can use besides oil.
Hydrogen, I love that. Come on, man.
So we got other energy sources. We don't have to keep on fracking and using oil all the time. So we just got. I think the biggest problem is learn how to convert that. That's probably where the issue lies. How we gonna convert something oil, obviously oil to electricity.
The business model. You think I feel that.
It'll be hard.
And that's really one of the reasons why we don't switch wholly into these new innovations, right? We have industries that make trillions and trillions of dollars over oil and gas production. So it's why why would I incentivize my demise? Like if I'm an oil company, you know, it would be in my best interest to not have hydrogen power get global, not have solar power become the next best thing, or be in your best interest to really invest in that shit so that you could be one of the pioneers.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? So people think a little bit differently. Yeah, go ahead, G. You have some thoughts on that?
No, that's actually great. I mean, it kind of gets me wondering why Elon Musk is there, because you know Tesla and everything like that. Tesla and everything like that. That's the next transition for all cars. Everybody wants to go electric. You know, with that being said, he's already in the cabinet right now making decisions on funding. He's already tapping into a lot of these pockets that we're already talking about. It's gonna be the people. Maybe he wants to benefit people who are fracking, who are getting the oil. But I don't think the fact that he's more business mindset, that he already has a business that's thriving as a pioneer, being Tesla.
SpaceX too.
SpaceX as well, yeah. The transition to electricity seems a little bit more, I guess, fathomable. Like you could touch it.
It's renewable.
You know, and at the same time, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, yeah, of course, the coltan from the batteries and things like that. That's going to also, instead of fracking, they're going to be mining for that.
Cobalt.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're going to be mining for that, and that's you know, we don't know the downside or the limitations of that. If we're going to do the transition, is there enough? We know there's enough oil. We've been doing this for years, for decades, hundreds of years. So it's just more or less. I know there's a lot of little things that I know that I didn't do any, far enough research on, but I do think would cause some issues in the future. But once again, bringing the money back to the U.S., bringing these opportunities back to the U.S., I don't think there's anything truly wrong with it.
Yeah, I think these are good points. I think just to wrap it up, or at least wrap up this segment of the podcast, you know, we have to be a little bit more critical. Like, you know, in the 60s and 70s, those still industries were booming because we had shit like the Mustang and the Buick, and you feel me, the Ford factories of Detroit and shit like that. You feel me, American-made muscle cars. You dig what I'm saying? So a lot of the times that steel production translated into our automotive production. As you can see, we have fiberglass vehicles now. You know, we don't use the same steel, the same materials anymore. So, you know, Trump bringing back steel and aluminum factories, does that really benefit the American people? Are we utilizing steel as much as we did back in the 60s and 70s? You know, can we repurpose it in a way? I'm not sure. You know, if I'm looking at it logically, the only time that we really use steel is for military purposes and, you know, some construction. You feel what I'm saying? Same thing with aluminum. You know, you may have some construction going on, or, you know, we have it in our automotive industry with fiberglass and carbon fiber and things like that. So we are experimenting with these new technologies, these new materials to help build cars. Why aren't we experimenting with new technology and innovation to help fuel our society? Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, that just leads on to my next topic, and that is our relationships, you know, across our allies, right? So BRICS, you know, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. The organization is really, you know, trying to destabilize the American dollar and, you know, weaken America's global influence. What to that point, China is heavily involved in Africa, you know, having deals with 45 out of the 53 countries to improve their infrastructure, you know, create roadways and airports and things like that. My question to y'all is, you know, why is China so heavily interested in these Caribbean and African countries? Is it because the politicians or the government people are corrupt and they want to like make sure their bloodline is good? Or is it like a viable reason that maybe the country is like super unstable and can't fight off, you know, intruders, terrorist organizations, things like that, and they need this outside help from France or a China or a Russia?
We never know with China. They just showing like what they could do as far as like giving out their support, you know, giving out their resources, or, you know, showing the country like, yeah, we care. But I also think it's something behind. I feel like they ally with other countries because they know like how easy people can just come in and just take their resources resources. So it probably is for that benefit. Like, all right, we need help, and they probably was like, all right, if we let y'all take our resources, it's both. Like I see it as both because at one side you get all right, you getting the help you need, and only thing you gotta do is use your resources. But on the other side, we give them we letting you using our support, just in case y'all need us for war or something like that. But also we getting all y'all resources to help benefit our countries and stuff like that. So it's a combination of both of my eyes.
That's hilarious.
I agree 100%. Well, first off, we are a superpower, right?
We are a superpower.
And we are backed by our army,
military.
Our military. With that being said, we've been reigning for years, decades, centuries. We've been reigning as number one. I'm not. The talk of somebody else trying to gain power is not too foreign. Just knowing that absolute power corrupts. Or corrupts absolutely. So we can't just have power for this long and just think we can retain it. Maybe it's just happening during our lifetime. That's the reason why it's a problem. But I think it was bound to happen. I mean, you saying that they might need an outside or some sort of ally to actually help them defend themselves. That's not too foreign. I mean, if you can be easily invaded for your resources, your people, or anything that you can provide to the world, why not join up with other people who actually have power? By invaded, I mean the U.S. has their hand in a lot of countries, and primarily for economic reasons, not really for some maybe you say it's for certain past presidents' personal endeavors. But with that being said, having your hand in everybody's pocket, they're gonna want to get something back out of it. So yeah, why not team up with the other people? Why not get more allies? Why not fight back when you can fight back or when the opportunity presents itself? So yeah, I'm not surprised. Whatever their motives is, it doesn't really matter. I just think it was a matter of time, honestly. Motives didn't really matter too much, whether or not it gives purpose back to the leaders themselves.
Yeah, it is valid. I was always curious about that. Me being an American and also having a Haitian lineage. You feel me? I always had this duality in me. Like, yes, I have a nation, but I'm also like I have claim and stake in this country. You feel what I'm saying? So it feels kind of icky to see other countries exploit the resources out of Africa, out of the Caribbean. Specifically, Africa is one of the most richest continents in the world. Not one of the most richest continent in the world. And it's kind of weird when we see people in Africa not living up to that potential. You feel what I'm saying? Like, how can you have deposits of diamonds, gold, coltan, phosphate, uranium, and not benefit from these natural deposits? Like it's a reason. Like America have interest, France have interest, the imperial system of colonialism have interest, and those interests are so that we can opt in to what they're selling us, opt into what they're buying, opt into what they're promoting, and buy it. You feel me? And consume it and digest it. But this podcast is providing you with information, providing you with new ideas to help you go research that stuff, and also get on one accord so that we can be more aligned on similar goals as a people, as a diaspora. Like I said in episode 1, us being black is not a monolithic experience. I have my homeboy who's the cameraman. Shout out to Matt. You feel me? He a first generation yard boy. You feel what I'm saying? But he identifies African American. You feel me? And this other, African first generation people who identify as African American black. You feel me? So like, that's a good question to dive into, y'all. Like, you feel me? The domestic relationship. Do y'all consider first generations as black? Do y'all consider Africans or Caribbeans as black? What is the idea of black to you?
You take this, Keem?
Look, for me, it don't matter you from Africa, you African American, bro, we all black at the end of the day. Because, if we go back to our history and stuff like that, most of our people came from the continent of Africa. You know, over time, we developed, you know, America, you know, and we became African Americans. But, you know, like, people from Africa, like, you know, we get those people that just come from the continent and, like, just say, I'm straight African and stuff like that. But to me, in my eyes, you're still black because you understand, like, everything a black person will go through. And, like, so it's like, me, like, I don't really, like, it's always, like, been a distinction between, like, African Americans and just straight Africans. It's just, like, I don't get it because we all black at the end of the day. Like, we all came from that same continent. And it's just, like, we ain't, our difference between, like, the Africans that come now, they came here freely. We didn't come here freely.
Right.
So that's the only difference. But we still black at the end of the day. Like, I'm sure in an average American black household, probably the same similarities of growing in an African household. We don't know. I don't know personally because I had a lot of African friends and stuff like that. You know, they probably went through the same black things I went through, but you know, they get it in some sense of the matter.
Word.
That's valid. So black is black regardless.
Yeah. I agree. Also, because if that's the case, when they come over, you go off of what you see. You don't really go off of the lineage, the heritage. I mean, you could be of slave descent on U.S. soil and be no racism until black as tar. You know, you don't know where that lineage came up from, but you know for surely you are black or African American. I think it's just a term, just to identify a group of people. And part of that group of people came from slaves and some come from natural soils, that, you know, original soils. So yeah, black is black, you know, no matter where you're from. I think, yeah, it's based off what you see. It's not really based off your bloodline.
Ooh, that's different. Yeah, it's not based off your bloodline. I think blackness is essentially based off your bloodline. I think you said two things that was really important: heritage and lineage. Yep. I think your lineage, you know, where you come from, your parents' parents, that's important. That tells you who you black.
I'm not saying that it doesn't. I'm just saying visually, you walk down the street, you see somebody
like a Drake.
You can see a Drake, or you can see anybody. You can see any one of us.
Mm-hmm.
You assume we're black.
Right.
That's just what you see.
Okay.
All right. I'm not saying, I'm not negating or absolving all your past or anything like that. Okay. But I'm just saying it's based upon what you see.
Okay.
Amongst black people, yeah, you can dive a little bit more into your lineage, your heritage, amongst other blacks.
I feel what you're saying. You saying the perception of blackness.
Yes.
But like, you know, like a Dominican, no, I'm no black, you know, but you look black type of thing.
You look black.
Yeah.
If I was to walk past you, I would just think you're black.
Okay.
And we don't, you know, now we're amongst each other, you can, you know, go in deep into your lineage and things like that. But, you know, based upon other races, how they would see you, the Asians, the whites, you know, even Indians, they get dark. Yeah. But even the Indians, that's another question. That's another conversation.
Indians look black, but they not black.
They look black, but it has something to do with the equator, X, Y, and Z.
I'm saying though, if you could see Dominican dude and assume he black, why wouldn't you look at an Indian person and assume he black?
I'm not gonna lie, I would probably, like, at a glance, I would probably think there's some black, some African in you, but at the same time, I don't, you know, these are deeper questions.
Yeah, I think I've been getting on good points though. Like lineage, African lineage makes you black, right? You feel me? Like if you Jamaican and you speaking patois, you black. Like you feel me? You Haitian, you speaking Creole, you black. Like I'm sorry, like I'm like you may not identify as it, but you have African ancestry, which makes you black. You feel what I'm saying? Now, do the heritage thing. Now I understand how that can be important, like culture, like we American. Yeah. You feel me? I really hate when I hear Africans or foreign black people say nigga. I'm sorry. We all black, but like the way you nigga. Like you feel what I'm saying? Like and it's like damn, bro, we can still be cool without you saying that. You feel what I'm saying? Like it still feel like an outsider a little bit because it's like you trying to assimilate to be me when you could just be me. Like we already cousins. Like you feel what I'm saying? Like so it's
the verbiage
it's the verbiage, but it's also like the culture. Like this is our culture. Like you feel what I'm saying?
So they can't involve themselves in the culture.
No, they can. They
might look like us. There's Northern Africans that are a little bit light skinned.
Yeah, I would say like you know how we see all the dances and shit, like the Ethiopian dances and shit. They be hitting them with the neck and shit like that.
Yeah, that's true.
You feel what I'm saying? And you got all the Sudan dances and shit like that. We come in African Americans just they be like chill, that's sacred, or like I don't know if they would or not. But like we come through with dashikis on and shit like that. They're like, nigga, that's not even your heritage. Like, you feel me? Like, what's up with you? Like, just be our cousin. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So it'd be kind of different when it comes to me about that. Like, I do see them as black people. I'm Pan African, but if we talking about like reparations and shit like that, I would not see a first generation receiving reparations. I'm sorry, my boy. Your mom and dad are Ghanaian. Your mom and dad are Eritrean. Even Matt. Like, Matt, both of his parents is Jamaican. Right. So it's like, how can you have claim to reparations and your family was never a part of that? You feel what I'm saying? That transaction. Right, you feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of different when it comes to that. Now, I'm not excluding them for like black culture. Like you can still embrace hip hop and still, but it just feel a little weird sometimes when it be like. You a first generation, or you're not even a first generation, but you come here and like during your matriculation in like high school or college, and now you want to be black, but literally you were born somewhere else. Like you feel what I'm saying? Like you black, but you're not American, bro, and you don't have to be American to be cool with me.
So you
feel what I'm saying?
So you gotta be born on U.S. soil
to be American?
Yeah. And that's that. Then he can say nigga.
Well, that's not my role. I'm just saying to be African American means that you're an American. Like you were born here.
But he's not. Right? So that's where the question lies.
But I can see if someone like Matt is say like I'm black. Like I was born here. Like I can't tell you when I was introduced to fucking hip hop culture. You feel what I'm saying? Like I grew up here. Like this is my life. Like you know what I'm saying? I can see that. Okay. You feel what I'm saying? But also, Matt was out here eating rice and beans and oxtails and patties and things like that. So, like, his cultural experience is a lot different from someone who is just American. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you talking about chitlins in the crib. You got to leave the crib. He don't know what that like. He don't even know what that's like. You feel what I'm saying? That's different. I don't know. I'm tripping. Let me know I'm tripping.
No, I don't think
I mean, bro, you don't know. Like, you don't know. Like, you...
I'm saying about the reparation part. Like, am I tripping to exclude people who are first generation American from reparations?
No, fuck that.
No, because we need that reparation.
Like, somebody didn't put the camera on back.
Like, fuck.
Because fuck that. We need a reparation.
I'm a married black Joe.
Because it'd be like many years. Like we was born this soil. We ain't get shit. We ain't get nothing.
40 acres and a mule is bigger than music.
Yeah, we never got our shit back, so we always had to fight for it. We always got to take it. And we always got we still doing it now. Like we never got those reparations. Even though it was promised to us, but obviously we didn't get it. So what was that? All I'm saying is to me, you feel like you black and you understand our culture, and you understand, when we use nigga, sometimes it's the way how you use it, how to say it. Sometimes, the outside African, you probably see us walking down the street, they probably in their head, look at these dumbass niggas. Who are you? They probably just judging us,
they probably calling us, you're right, they get used it the same way that it was used against us.
So it's
right. That's valid.
I'm bro, don't just judge us, but you get what we're saying, if one of us say it amongst us, we know we don't mean no harm feelings. We just ain't nigga because it's
the culture.
Yeah. So, but I get what you're saying with that.
It's not like I feel like they shouldn't say it. It just feels weird when they say it. You feel what I'm saying? It's like why are you saying it to get closer to me, to be a part of something? You're already a part of it. You don't need to do that. Is what I'm saying.
You don't have to say that word to be closer to us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Me and you
you remember the boy from CCP? He's Saunders. Somebody nigga. Like you like, bro, like your accent heavy, cuz. Like we can smoke and chill and have a good time. You don't gotta be calling me nigga every 15 minutes.
See, right there, you gonna have to say nigga, bro. You could just say like, "What's up, my bros? Like, what's up with y'all?" Like you just want.
It's like Drake saying it.
Drake? No. I mean, like Obama and Drake both have white moms. And then you can see how one of them come out differently. You feel what I'm saying? Now, if probably accept Obama saying it before Drake, I would press Drake before I press Obama.
That's
like, you feel what I'm saying? That's off a visualization.
That was primarily my point. When you identify that blackness is what you perceive it as, what you see it as. Right. That question only comes up is when you're like, is there enough black lineage? Is there enough blackness in their skin to say, hey, you're black, you can get away with it?
I go with the one parent rule.
The one parent rule?
Yeah, you one parent rule, you black. Like one of your parents
black.
Of the
U.S. soil.
It don't gotta be U.S. soil.
So he can say it.
He been can say it.
So I'm just saying.
He American. But I'm saying
his
though.
parents can't say it.
They probably. I mean, like I'm not saying they can't say it. I'm not no police about that.
Did
shit.
your parents say nigga before?
I'm not the police about that shit. I'm just saying like it would just sound weird hearing them saying. It would sound weird hearing them saying like you don't really hear like my man Sam don't say shit like that. Like we just smoke the same all the time. He'll say John. He'll say drawling. Right. He'll say, and even that shit sound weird with a South African accent. You'd be like, like you know what I'm saying?
I beg your pardon, that's drawling.
Yeah, I beg your pardon, that's drawling. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I never see Sam.
Yeah, so it's like you impeding on it, like you're doing too much. Like you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's crazy. I never peeped that. So, yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm different. Like, I got international friends. You feel what I'm saying? One of the reasons why me and Matt so close is because he showed me that he is a man. Like, you feel what I'm saying? To be a man, it means that you understand what you want to be, what you want to do, and what's in between where you at now and you getting there. And you feel me? And Matt, he's just an example of like willpower, like actually doing something. George, Keem as well. You feel what I'm saying? So blackness is blackness. You feel what I'm saying? So where you from don't matter. Like I'm also Caribbean, so it's like we could connect on that sense. We both American, so we could connect on that sense. You feel what I'm saying? Speaking of friendship, you feel me? Do y'all feel a way when you're growing up and ascending to your higher self, and like your friends aren't doing so with you? Like, what are some opinions or some coping mechanisms that you use to either confront your friends or just accept that hey, they not coming? Excuse me.
Pretty deep. I can tell you off of experience because I remember the transition because I met Jersey, Jaquan here. I met him through CCP, community college, Philadelphia. So that transition from community college to an actual not saying that the school's not prestigious, but to an actual university with a little bit more rep to it. I noticed some of my friends had to be left behind. Not left behind, but we're not on the same wavelength. I literally moved out of my parents' crib and started to live with other people who were a little bit more like-minded. In which, like I couldn't, I want to say leave behind, but I didn't really have much interest into the people who weren't really focused on getting somewhere. In which it didn't draw bridges between me and my friends, but more or less I do feel the tension from it during the time frame. But at the same time, we're on a mission. You know what I'm saying? We're on a mission. You're either with the mission or you're not, and you go on your own mission your own way. But you want to be surrounded by that atmosphere of everybody focused on something. You have to be surrounded by it. It helps you, excel as a person, as a man.
Iron sharpens iron.
So that's just off of lived experience. That's what I could kind of base it.
So would you say you just basically accepted that they wasn't going to be on the same mission with you?
Yeah, because I always, me, I try to uplift people. Any idea that I have, and usually it's financial because I'm a very entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes,
I try to get everybody in it. It doesn't matter what it is. I won't get into details, but I've tried it multiple times. It's one of the things where that mindset kind of goes hand in hand with what you want out of life. Whether or not you can even just follow directions, you know, something as simple as that.
Yeah.
And if you can't, I'm not repeating myself.
Grown ass men out here.
I'm not repeating myself.
Right.
You know, I can't repeat myself, so I just gotta move on. You know, live life. But yeah.
What's your 2 cents, Keem, on like either accepting that friends aren't going to ascend with you, level up with you, or do you try to confront them on, you know, the possibilities of leveling up?
Well, for me, it's like, so for me, like, you know, I had, you know, friends like in the hood, stuff like that. You know, I grew up with for years and stuff like that.
But we all from the hood.
Yeah, like we all from the hood, but you know, but we took a different route. Like we all said, all right, we like, all right, we wanted to go to college. You know, we wanted to get our degrees. You know, we wanted to elevate ourselves in that concept. Mind you, you know, I had friends that in the hood, you know, not y'all, but you know, around my neighborhood, you know, growing up, they never really had those same ambitions I had. You know, with even like and bitches are like getting their licenses, like getting a diploma, getting a job, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, when I came back home for college, they see me like, you know, I'm doing better than them, right? I hang out with them, like, you know, I still rap to them like back then, you know, just to see where they head at. Like, are y'all really going? Are y'all still in the same place, or are y'all going move forward?
Right.
So when I rap to them, they still in the same place, still in the same dumpster, the same BS they were doing before.
Right.
When they was like, you know, teenager, now they're adults. Yeah. And with those relationships, I keep my boundaries and stuff like that, because they used to try to use me and stuff like that. So while I felt like I was being used, I'm telling them like, look, y'all not using me for this. Like, y'all not using my card for this, and y'all not gonna use me for roll ups and stuff like that.
Right.
We all grown.
All grown.
So I still got love for them, but I know what type of time they on. I won't surround myself with that.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, like, you still gonna be my friend, but I could keep you at a distance.
Hell yeah.
So,
and that's how I feel too. I feel like I said, as a man, you have to apply yourself, nigga. Like, you know, it's sad, but you have to create your value as a man. You're not born with value. You have to go create some value, my nigga. What can you do? What can you provide? What do you show, or what evidence do you have that proves that you are who you say you are? And niggas don't look at it like that. You feel what I'm saying? They should. You feel me? That's why I surround myself around the people that I surround myself with, because they prove to me on the daily that they're men. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not out here trying to be 30-something, being a woulda, coulda, shoulda. You feel me? Like, it's just not in me. So I'm real about what I like and what I don't like. I tell my friends I'm loyal to principles, not people. And they look at me like, so this nigga. Like, nah. They look at me like, oh, that's thorough. Like, you feel what I'm saying? My man got a code of conduct. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he's not gonna be loyal to a fault for no reason. Because once I see some shit, I'm gonna address it. Yo, bro, you moving wacky. That's not thorough. Oh, you fuck with that? Oh, I don't fuck with you no more. Simple. Like, you feel me? Like, I got zero tolerance for that shit. Cause like, I got 5 brothers, 2 sisters. So I really don't need a friend, but I appreciate camaraderie and collaboration. You feel me? That's how we go further in life. You feel me? So by any means, if I can, I'm gonna seek that out. You feel me? Yeah, so I think that's very important, especially when it comes to men in particular, you know, matriculating through adolescence into adulthood. You know, once you become 18, you are an adult. You know, you have to start thinking about your future. Start thinking about what are your abilities, what are your skills, what are your interests, and how can you apply those things so you can make some money, you know, and, you know, blow up the comments. You dig what I'm saying? This is Major Political Shift, the podcast that integrates pop culture with political awareness. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this conversation and that y'all do your due diligence and research on some of the topics that we talked about. You feel me? Stay active, stay involved, get connected. Brothers? DM a shout out real quick. Follow me on the gram.